Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Sunless Skies. So we're just about to head out on our long voyage, and I realized we haven't actually spoken to our new chief engineer. And of course, the new crew member we take on would be an engineer and not like a quartermaster or a signaler where we could like desperately use some options. Alright, let's have a chat with her. She has a cabin, but usually sleeps on a spare mattress in the engine room. There she can hear the rhythm and rumble of the engine, and wake when it hiccups. Her cats have all found favorite places among the machinery and pipework. Well, she would like to be seconded. Obviously, I'm much more concerned with finishing her quest first, though. When she is not tinkering with the engine, she likes to read. Perhaps she'd like to pick through some of the material in the hold. Okay, well, as long as the engine's in a good state and she's not too busy and we have one ministry-approved literature on us. What is this other option? A trunk of illicit literature. I assume this is one of the types of contraband that you can get, so maybe we should have a chat with that guy in London. I don't know, we'll see. Let's break the ice with an offer of approved reading material. Obviously nothing illegal happening on this engine, no ma'am. She smiles. Thanks, Cap. A cat hisses furiously from its perch on the overhead piping. Stop it, Asmodee, the eccentric scolds. Thanks, Captain, she continues. I brought some books with me, but I've already... A prolonged, deafening clamor interrupts her. A second cat has knocked over a toolbox, covering the floor in spanners. The third climbs onto the engine and becomes trapped in a gauntlet of pumping pistons and whirring wheels. It yowls pitiably. You tell her that she can help herself to the books when she's less occupied. 3 sets of yellow, baleful eyes watch you depart. They seem smug. I knew it. I knew these cats were up to no good. Alright, well, as time passes, the story will progress. I suppose we had to check in on our other cat as well. He is not good. He falls off high things, he gets stuck in vents, he sits at the exterior hatch and yowls to be let out. He's yours, though, you suppose. Dude, don't yell. If I open that door, you die. Why don't cats have any sense of self-preservation? The cat sleeps in the hold, in the engine room, in the galley. It is often found asleep, never seen expending energy moving from one place of repose to another. Today, it is sleeping on your desk. Okay, well, let us pet the cat, then? For something so lethargic, it has a remarkable turn of speed. Its soft white belly was a trap. Oh, I'm familiar with this trap. Your useless cat yawns theatrically, as if to emphasize how little it cares about the blood oozing from your forearm. It stands, stretches, knocking a pot of ink to the floor, and then curls up once more. The ink pools lazily. You'll need to mop that up before it reaches the rug. This is exactly... Cats. Man. Alright, let's get back to work here. So, we are headed back to the messenger to do some experimentation with Amber. Right? We're not missing. There's not anything else we're supposed to be doing, is there? We're going to Eagles Empyrean for you. We got to take you to the Blue Kingdom. A lot of people want to go to the Blue Kingdom these days. Yeah, I think we're just headed back. And hopefully without taking too much more hull damage. It is kind of strange, though, right? That we've only found one crew member for these 2 jobs. I wonder... It makes me feel like I'm missing stuff. Like I'm missing stuff that is probably fairly obvious. Okay, we pretty much just need to go straight north. Straight north as best we can. We shouldn't have any problem making it up there. And I'm remembering correctly that they do sell, yes, both fuel and supplies. Okay. Well, we don't really have that much amber to experiment with, so we can toss out the Retronaut from time to time here. Try to acquire some more as we fly. Well, he is effective, isn't he? That was fast, too. How'd he get all the way out to all 3 of those places? Alright, let's try the couple that are right in our path. I don't want to veer off too much, because we don't have that much fuel. This is a pretty good start to a fight, I think. Be a really good time for... There we go. No, no. Ah, damn it. I do so hate the fact that you can't dodge to the side while overheated. Okay. Apparently I interacted with the island instead of with the loot objects. That is not what I was trying to do. You know, I would just so much love... How many condemned... I wish that you always had access to your profile. I don't know how many condemned experiments we have. Yeah, let's do this. Their secrets for yours. A fair trade. And hey, we only gained 10 terror. The hermit accepts your offering and gestures for you to join them. To soothe the dying animal... Oh yeah, we have, in fact, seen this. Okay, this is what I was trying to interact with. I guess we'll take the bronze wood? Yeah. The very small amount of experience we get there is not likely to be, worth very much. I guess when we level up one more time, like, the thing I would like to take most is an increase to our veils, but I don't think we're actually going to have the option. Okay, come on. Let some of this thing be fit to strap onto our train. Hell yes. Okay, 14. Not bad. Also, you know what? I think... Hold on a second. I'm gonna turn the game down just a little tiny bit here. It does seem like it's louder the last couple of episodes. I wonder if I accidentally messed with my volume settings. I like a lot of the game audio, but that overheating sound could maybe never play again. It would be okay. Oh, the Retronaut even has a couple of different little musical cues that play. Alright, we'll steer through all this stuff. I think if we stick to the edge of the Candlewind, hopefully it won't slow us down too much. What is that? I think it's the sound of the wood over here creaking, maybe? Hopefully not the sound of something truly menacing sneaking up on us invisibly. Okay, there we go. We are free. Fortunately, the thing is totally in the path of the Candlewind. Okay, a bit of library. Am I gonna have to... Yeah, I'm gonna have to swing around this side of it. That's a little inconvenient. It's probably worth it. Just annoying. How much can we actually go against the wind? Okay, a little bit. The Tartarian Roosts. Yeah, this is pretty crappy, actually. Maybe it wasn't worth the little scrap of knowledge. I was kind of hoping it was going to spawn a spinster. We've seen them do that before, I believe. Wouldn't mind another thing or two to fight. Looks like maybe the wind's dying down. Also, are we, like, way more zoomed in than usual? Camera's feeling a little claustrophobic. Yeah, there we go. Huh. That was weird. Oh, wait a second. Our scout did not report this. Apparently he's slipping a little bit already. The useless cact, to the detriment of your crew, has discovered that he cannot digest peppers. Oh, good. You'd think people would be getting used to the curator's eggs by now. We're taking quite a lot of terror from these things still. They're just like papery eggs. We take them on board, we sell them, nothing bad ever seems to happen. Turn off the light. I don't really want to fight the dowser. I don't think there's a lot of value in it. That is the thing that I wanted most from that Rex, or from the luggage there, so that's pretty cool. It's kind of remarkable how quickly we found all the ports here. Just like, I'm thinking about how much difficulty I had finding stuff in Albion. Although, you know, I don't think I did have that much difficulty finding stuff in Albion the first time. Before we hit our head and forgot what Albion looked like. Every dark shape I see out of the corner of my eye now, I'm afraid is an extinguishment. At night, your sleep is peppered with uncomfortable dreams. Well, I don't really want to gain terror. We don't have a good way of disposing of it. So let's see, we're going to head up to here, then over to Piranesi, then down to Eagle's Empyrean, and we don't really, at any of those places, have a good way of dumping a bunch of terror. So if we fail this roll, we gain terror, and that's more likely than not. So why not just do one of these things? I have 36 Tales of Terror. Yeah, why not just do one of these things and get something out of the gaining terror? And it was only 5, it's not so bad. You would think at this point we would be familiar with all the truly terrible truths of the universe. I guess there's just a lot of them. Way more than you might think. That almost looks mineable. Like a little bit glowy. What's he got? Alright. We're almost to where we're going. We got plenty of fuels and supplies left. I guess we could veer off a little bit. I like that the Retronaut seems to find stuff that's either near us or in the direction we're going. A little bit early yet to say that this is a pattern, but it's already less annoying than the way the Cavi used to scout. Alright, what have we? Are we back at full? Very nearly. Little dude is earning his keep. I think it's very important that we try to keep the number of rats on board higher than the number of cats on board. I think cats like to put on airs of being incompetent, but they're actually very good at scheming. Fortunately, rats are probably better, but let's just keep the brain differential tilted in that one direction, just in case. Alright, so we don't actually we're not going to take our crew back. I was really surprised, first of all, at how many crew we lost, and then how many crew we immediately regained. So the crew that we sent out on the expedition, I assume just are going to live here now. This crab is their permanent home. Sorry about that, guys. Not what I would have chosen, but then again, what are the odds that Sister Patel even knows their names or faces? It's all sort of the same to her. You know, they all have that same white hat on. That's the only thing we've really noticed. Rubbery men from within the House of Rods and Chains have gathered around a fallen spire on the surface. They hold their heads high, staring out at the stars as if hoping to catch a glimpse of their lost exile somewhere deep in Eleutherian darkness. One by one, their warbling ululations rise. Well, we could sit here and just witness, or we could trade some stuff. So we could trade golden amber for something, for other flavors of amber. Or we could just trade... We have exactly enough green to try a green recipe, which is the only thing that makes me hesitate on this. They don't want to give away a green and then not be able to do as many experiments. Like, I don't think we're going to miss the one red or the one blue. But if the golden amber trade is 1-to-1, we're not going to pick up enough amber for it to be useful either. Let's maybe witness the Lament of Exile, because I'm hoping this will lower our terror. Yeah, okay, cool. The lament is low, its melodies impossible for any human tongue to capture. In their grief, however, at least the rubbery men have kinship, a shared hope that one day the suffering will be over. It just won't be today. Yeah, I mean, they're not wrong, right? One day the suffering will be over. Alright, let's head back up to the spire. I want to talk to Mr. Barleycorn, Because we met a guy. Yeah, give Mr. Barleycorn the seal of Mr. Pipes. Perhaps it is true that we live too long. Mr. Barleycorn daubs the seal in ink and presses it to paper. I suppose there are less pleasurable paths to follow, though the emptiness awaiting at the end of that one's will be dark indeed. I favor music myself. A symphony is as potent to me as good wine is to you. Your kind have been bounteous in that regard. Okay. Well, I think we're definitely going to swing by Lustrum and see if, his name was Mr. Pennies, right? We'll see if Mr. Pennies has a seal as well. And if he does, then that tells us a little bit about what is waiting under Mr. Barleycorn's bandages, I suppose. Alright, I think that we have done... Oh yeah, that's right. I was gonna... That's why we had a ministry-approved literature. I was gonna... Okay, well, whatever. I'm sure we'll be back. We'll get this problem solved. But this means that we don't really have a whole lot of reason to return to Piranesi. Right? This was my whole plan. Okay, well, let's go back downstairs. Let's do the house thing. Alright. Retrieve your amber. You meet up with the crew at the designated spot, and they dish out what amber they've been able to find. They ask about being returned to the locomotive. Alas, there's just no room. You know, we have this whole religious organization on board, about 500 passengers. Sorry, guys, we just can't fit you in. Okay, so they're commingling. It's another choir. We'll just keep gaining that same mystery over and over again. We'll, of course, compile a port report. We will, of course, offer passage to a rubbery man. I wonder how many of them we have to deliver before whatever it is that's going to happen will happen. Okay. Deeper into the house. Down to the shapeling vats. And let's fiddle with these. So, we don't know anything at all. Let's just try stuff. Blue amber goes in the vat. And then the mixture is liquid and runny. What do I think would thicken it up? Probably chorister nectar, right? Let's try that. Oh, I didn't buy any caged catches. That's alright. We'll try some in the next set. Yeah, let's throw some chorister nectar in there. A rubbery man reaches for your arm as you prepare to add the nectar to the pot. It licks one drop, then guzzles the rest down with lip-smacking gusto. 5 minutes later, it returns with a bowl of paste for the vat. Huh. A process indeed. We were probably better off not knowing exactly what happened there. The mixture is becoming harder to stir. Okay. Do we want to... I mean, I don't think we have anything here that would really thin it out. Let's try throwing some tea into the vat. A taste of British culture should help civilize the mixture. Is that what British culture does? A rubbery man draws a boiling, milky liquid from another vat and indicates that you should use it to make the tea. Dark, viscous liquid floats to the top. A more watery, chocolate-colored substance settles underneath. You add it to the vat. The mixture is hardening quickly. Well, this would be the time to put the gemstones in there? This is kind of an expensive experimentation. It's a good thing we have all of the money. The rubbery men grind the gemstones into a galaxy of glittering points, each swallowing and vomiting a constellation into the vat. As you stir, the mixture shines with a light that occasionally darts from corner to corner. And the mixture is about to set, so... I wonder... We have no idea how this works, right? I'm wondering if adding the same ingredient more than once is maybe not good? I'm wondering if it's not like... I'm wondering if adding 2 casks of gemstones is maybe exactly the same as having added 1, if it's just like a binary, either this thing was in there or not. I guess let's try adding 4 different things. The rubbery men assist by preparing seeds. They place them in their mouths and suck until the outer layer is completely gone. And they spit the seeds into the mixture as you stir, and deposit the gelatinous-coated shells in the corner. Alright, let it simmer and finish hardening. Let's see what we did here. The rubbery men lean in as you break the hard surface of the mixture to get to the amber inside. They flute with excitement as bright, shining golden amber glints in the dark. Okay, well, we made gold amber. Is that a good outcome? Do I even want gold amber? I have no idea. Alright, let's try with the red amber. So I think what we're going to do here is I'm going to add the same ingredients in the same order and see if we get the same result with the different amber color. So it was nectar, then tea, then gemstones, then seeds. And what do we got? We got some blue amber. We just turned the amber into different amber. Expensively. We expensively turned the... This doesn't seem to be a useful thing to do at all, frankly. Okay. I want to try something else. We're going to climb back up because I want to access the market... No, sorry, not this marketplace, like the actual marketplace. Okay, well, we do have some more options here, don't we? We could commingle our choirs with a rubbery man. We could exchange stories for amber. You know what? Maybe that's worth doing now. With 3 red amber, we can dump terror here. I wonder how much. Alright, let's try some weird stuff. The rubbery men cluster around the alcove. We can now sample the rose-cheeked cook's wares, but we're into commingling our choirs so often lately. Why break the streak? Boy, I wish this wasn't in quotation marks. I have no idea what this actually means. Let's do it. In a dark, moist alcove, you sing softly together. The harmonies are intricate and intimate. Tentacles twine fondly around your fingers. Your foreheads rest together, its skin spongy and slick against yours. You can almost feel its thoughts flashing inches from yours. Huh. Okay, the Devils of Carillon have a lot of things to say about my soul. Did we just... Is this rubbery man prostitution that we just engaged in here? What a weird thing. What a weird everything that's happening. Alright, let's trade stories for amber. I could use some more amber, it turns out. Looks like I'm not really in control of what we get. It isn't clear if it understands your words, but something in your tale speaks to something deep inside it. It gives a watery, wistful ululation and begins humming a song of hope. Helps if you read the text up here first. One of the more elderly rubbery men sits at the edge of the throat, humming an unfamiliar tune. As amber to trade for nostalgia. Can we do that a bunch? Okay. We do have a lot of mysteries, although it is 3 each time we do this. Yeah, let's trade a little bit more. Okay, 2 red, 2 green. This is a way better way of getting amber than the vats. Let's pay for an evening's rest, because I'm curious how much it affects. So 39 didn't look like too much. Alright, we lost 10. An impossibly uncomfortable night. The pillow turns out to be stone. The curve of your assigned alcove bends your spine until your head almost touches your feet. There is no privacy, and no way to block out the slucks and contented flurbles of the rubberies in adjoining alcoves, where they effortlessly slip into lip-smacking torpor as smoothly as custard sloshing around a bowl. Okay, so that was, like, not great. Let's sample the rose-cheeked cook's wares. The rubbery men cluster around this alcove, squirming with delight at the steaming delicacies and the chipped porcelain dishes. You try a small spoonful. A small spoonful is enough. Okay, cool, we gained back terror, and everything we're doing here seems to be affecting our soul in some way that I'm not 100% clear on. Well, we could trade for fuel, but we don't need to. We could just buy fuel. We could trade for curiosities, but, like, do we need to? It's so strange. It seems like there's something happening here mechanically. It seems like there's a system at play, but it seems like we have a currency that doesn't matter, and the only things we can exchange it for are tiny things that have no value, or other versions of the currency that doesn't really matter. What a weird place. Alright, well, I think we're good now then. Thank you. Maybe there's something really cool that can come from the vats, but we don't have any way of knowing, and given the very large number of things that we can try to put in the vat, it would be very difficult to, like, conduct a process of elimination that would lead to us actually knowing what's going on here. So I think I'm good. I think we're just gonna go. Thank you all for your hospitality. We'll bring Mr. Barleycorn his literature at some point, or rather the literature that he needs to pardon the guy. Do we want to go back to Pan and get more literature? We don't really have a strong reason to go to Piranesi without having this guy's pardon, right? So maybe we do just go back to Pan, or we skip it entirely and just head to the Eagle's Empyrean. Now, we're gonna go to Piranesi. We're at least gonna get our two. It has definitely been more than 2 weeks, so we're gonna get our 2 trips through the thing. See if we can't maybe stumble upon a rule, and then we'll leave it. Next time we're here, we'll worry about trying to pardon that servitor. I'm sure that we weren't going to hit the end of that line of narrative anyway. And fortunately, our hull is together enough that we could run into an undeparted or two and probably end up okay. Of course, now that I've said that, really hoping that the game wasn't listening too closely. You know, I feel like we're just never alone in the dark out here anywhere. At all, ever. I wonder if the feline eccentric is going to come to us when she's ready to push her story forward, or... let's just check in on her. "Morning, sister," she says as you approach. She has shadows around her eyes, as if she hasn't been sleeping well. One hand is bandaged. Her cats coil about her feet, glaring at you with naked malevolence. You ask if she's all right, and she smiles breezily. "Oh yes, mustn't grumble. Perhaps in time she will come to trust you more. These cats are some kind of curse that she's been afflicted with, right? I think that's what's happening here. And she can't tell me about them, because that's part of the curse. If she tells me, they'll kill us all or something. That's alright, lady. We're gonna free you from those cats and this other useless cat. Once upon a time, we ran a tight ship, tight enough that there weren't any cats on it, and I long to get back to those days. Okay, well, we've awakened something. I bet that's an undeparted. Ow. Well, I was trying to just push it to the side by harming it enough to make it miss, which it's a thing we've managed to do with Scribe Spinsters a couple of times. No such luck here, though. These guys are a little sturdier. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Nope, never mind. He totally screwed up. Is that the same one? Did he manage to get all the way around in front of us? This is not... I am not even going the right way, really. Nope, nope, nope. Yeah, I managed to dodge in the wrong direction there. Something is scratching at the exterior hatch. How could that possibly be? An alarmed junior signaler summons you to an exterior hatch. A persistent scratching noise is coming from the other side. You look out the nearest window, but you can't get a good view. There's only the velvet sky, agleam with frosty stars. Okay, well, we are hearing the scratching noise. We don't think that he's just imagining it. Alright, we're gonna briefly open the hatch and see what it is. Maybe that's unwise. The Wanderer. You fling the door wide, pistol in hand. The cold reaches in, and the hard light of the stars. And something else enters, too. Something small and furred and yellow-eyed. It is one of the feline eccentric's cats. Its fur bristles with frost. Its muzzle is brown with the blood of something unnameable. Ignoring you, it pads calmly toward the engine room. Has it been out for a walk? I don't suppose it could kill the undeparted for us. No, probably not. You know, I've made no secret of my general disdain for cats, especially not this episode. But I did have a cat for a while. And something kind of like that. One time, I woke up and I heard a meowing outside the door, and I went out there to see what it was, and it was our cat. There was no obvious way to get outside, and the cat never got outside again, as best we could tell. But somehow it was just out there. Feels a little bit like what just happened, except, you know, she came home without blood all over her face. I'm not interested in gifts, actually. The figure withdraws its extended mandible and disappears behind the crossroad post. You return to your locomotive, ready to continue your journey. Okay. Well, now we know that's an option at the crossroads. Yeah, the price we have to pay for the trade sometimes is a little bit too high. It turns out otherworldly creatures mostly are not interested in letting you really see the terms of the contract ahead of time. And there's a good reason for that. You should always be nervous when someone tries to obscure the terms. It also makes me think a little bit of... I wish I could remember what it was called. There's a really good Neil Gaiman short story about a cat. A black cat? Maybe the title of the story is The Black Cat? This is not a useful anecdote at all, because I can't tell you anything about the story without spoiling it, and I don't know the name of it, so I can't tell you to go read it. Whatever, let's just pretend that I did not even bring it up. What was the name of the... I can't even remember what the name of the book was that it was in. Alright. Let's make an effort to learn something. So we've now gone in with each of the different guides, right? I made a note. I made a note about something. Why did I make a note about something? Hold on. We're going to go find the note. Go with the Grey Conformer is what he has written in the past. Alright. Choosing to trust past SB. Was this just a note reminding me where the guy we were supposed to secure a pardon for was? I think that's probably it. Alright, nothing interesting there. Read a port report. We at least have some port reports to take back to Eagle's Empyrean this way. So if we eavesdrop on the Conformer's questions... Yep, it is in fact all the same. Is our exiting encounter any different? Something is following us. Okay. It does in fact seem to all be very familiar. Well then we probably don't have anything of value to do here at all then, right? Because we have seen what happens when you go with each of them. Let's go with the Glistening Deformer. I don't remember exactly what it was that, where it was that we left the narrative thread of that guy who was aiming a rifle at the chaplain. That's right, we were offering moments of inspiration to him in order to help him change his physical form. Well, it turns out I brought a bunch back with me. You sit behind the vigilante and begin offering ideas. His spiked tail lashes back and forth in anticipation. You chat with the vigilante, flinging ideas of shape and change back and forth. Eventually, the topic shifts to his lifetime's crusade against the liberation of night. Above all else, that's something I refuse to change, he says. I can't abandon my life's mission. Have you seen what they've done? The horrifying emptiness of the skies? He whispers what he's learned about their methods. Secret code words and passphrases. Recipes for bombs. The movement of engines in the void. After a moment's silence, he thanks you for your help. This time, you leave before he works himself into the Warrens. Okay, well... Mostly I just want to see what happens if we keep offering him more moments. Alright, I guess with that, we're pretty much done here. I don't want to convince him to abandon his transformation. We've put too many resources into it at this point. I'm very invested in his transformation. Haggard prisoners cluster on ledges like gargoyles, clinging by fingertips and tailbones. Most still look human. "The Warrens are your salvation," says the Deformer. "Become glorious like me. Majesty in monstrosity, beauty in abomination." The shivering wretch hops down. "A volunteer?" asks the Deformer in delight, nudging him toward a tunnel far narrower than he is. But on seeing the tunnel, the would-be volunteer changes his mind and backs away. Well, we definitely did not persuade the prisoner to enter the tunnel on the last attempt, I don't think. Because why would I have taken a roll that was so bad? So that kind of makes me want to choose this, just to see if we can maybe learn something new here. Yeah, alright, let's take a swing at it. Okay, apparently more persuasive than usual today. You offer reassurance and hope, far more soothing than the Deformer's sharp questions. Your words of encouragement take a moment to sink in. Finally, the prisoner nods, braces himself, and kneels down. He begins to work himself gradually into the tunnel, with a series of agonizing pops and cracks. Ugh. Some of the Deformer's mouths smile in your direction. Well spoken. Following the volunteer's example, a few of the surrounding prisoners clamber down and search for an unoccupied tunnel of their own. Yeah, well, okay, we really did something there. The Deformer likes us more, it seems like. That's a good thing, probably. If we're ever gonna learn anything about this place, we're gonna need one of these chaplains to take a shine to us. So I guess we made some progress in that sense. Alright, no new bargains available. I think we can probably just leave. Is this? Okay, there is a little route out here, but actually, let's go around this way, because there's an opportunity to do some exploration. But mostly, if you can't tell, I'm eager to get back to Eagle's Empyrean. So we're going to have to cross some amount of the storm to get there. Let's tend toward the wall of the zone. Oh, maybe that's not going to be as easy as I was hoping. Basically just... Ooh, hey. He became aware of us sometime after we first blew up his face. Cantankerous are not, they're not super observant. Well, I don't really think a caged catch is super valuable to us. This is just some hours, but, like, we're gonna gain fewer sovereigns from doing this than the hours will be worth, so... But those guys just don't have very good loot. Frankly, I think I would rather fight the little ones and get the crates of supplies. Alright, little buddy, what do you got for us? What treasures does the sky hold? Treasures that are kind of inconvenient to get to. I think we can grab this one pretty easily. So we're going to have to cross the storm again. It was scary, I think, more than dangerous. I was definitely worried that a lot of... seemed like there was the potential for a lot of bad stuff to happen. But we didn't even really see that many enemies out there. What edifice stood here in times past? Okay, well... Vision of the Heavens. I guess we saw this thing, and it is technically part of the heavens. A stoker is angrily defacing the engine's Bible. He claims that here in the heavens there are more pertinent gods than that of King James. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with him, actually. Immediately, he launches into a sermon about the burrower below, the Worm Mother, general progenitrix of the Devourers of Days, who are called the Igene, maybe? She tunneled the paths across the sky. Every transit is a trespass. We must give praise. Okay, what if I agree with him, though? I don't have the option to agree with him. Here, we can afford to part with some supplies. I don't think this will be too harmful. Yeah, I'm kind of starting to wonder about the gods of this place. The archivist was not really interested in them at all. But I think maybe... Let's kind of... We could loot this from this side. I think maybe Sister Patel is a little bit more wary. Not necessarily that she believes or worships. Just that she thinks maybe it's not a good idea to dismiss them out of hand, given all of the weird shit we've seen out here. I think she probably was not concerned too much about the gods of this place prior to our adventure beginning, but some things have happened. Also, apparently, we're going to be starting renovations and stuff a little bit earlier today than usual, so sorry about all that noise. The good news is, once we're through Eagle's Empyrean here, we'll probably cut the recording for a bit as I fly us back to the part of the sky that matters. So, hopefully you won't have to endure too much of it. I don't even know if it's coming through on the microphone. You'll notice, even though I was saying nothing bad even happened to us when we crossed the storm before, I am hewing awfully close to these buildings. There's something really unsettling, like primally unsettling, about a storm being below me. It just that doesn't work for me. Alright, we can grab that. Yeah, I'm certainly not really afraid of dowsers. And frankly, I guess it might be a good idea to fight dowsers, especially in a situation like this, where we're headed back to the Reach soon, where we know we can get our terror under control. Because we do collect nameplates from them. But maybe at some point I'll have something useful to do with them. It's weird how the useless cat seems to discover that he cannot digest peppers every time we get near a curator's egg. I mean, I'm sure it's just a coincidence, but it is a weird coincidence, right? Hey, how you doing? Friendly ship here, no need to blow me up with your cannon. Hey, he actually bought that. Alright, I am very, very curious about opportunities to work with the forces of the Khanate against the Crown. Let's see exactly what kind of favor turning in our port reports here brings us. Also, I do not remember at all where the dock was. Okay. Yeah, I don't know, that amber thing with the rubbery men just seems very strange. I feel like in a lot of places the mechanics of the port sort of, if not reveal themselves immediately, then at least reveal hints immediately. Like the first time we went through Worldbury, it was immediately clear that like something weird was going on, and we had a sense that there was something creepy happening beneath the place, and I had some idea of mechanically how to engage with that. I don't know what to make of all this amber stuff. A bespectacled official greets you at his customary table in the park, wearing a warm smile so genuine it must be practiced. Okay, so we can exchange plaques from dowser engines for money or to lower our terror. We can deliver intelligence on the house. Delivering intelligence to the official will raise your standing with the Eagle and lower it with the London Embassy. I think I'm fine with that. I am basically fine with that. You trade 3 visions for an unlicensed chart. I suppose it's good to have a source of those. Alright, let's start with this. The drop-off. A smile, a nod, an envelope passed from hand to hand under the table. A dropped mahjong tile draws your attention to a money pouch by your seat. You pick it up and play your next move. Careful as you are, it is unlikely that this exchange has gone unnoticed by observers from the London Embassy. Okay, the Eagle considers you an informant. London is ambivalent. Probably a lot of people out here are informants, right? So they don't want our port reports in general. They just want, like, specific port reports. Okay, where would you be interested in next? Okay, it's just the one that we brought him. So maybe it's not so much that he, like, gives us a quest to fulfill. It's just that every so often, the one that he's looking for shifts, and you hope to get lucky and bring them the right one. Alright, let's play a little bit of Mahjong. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know anything about Mahjong. I know what the tiles look like, sort of. The official offers you 2 teas, one more suited to the English palate, the other to that of the Empyreans. There's value in being comfortable with both sides, he says. I spent some time in London myself many years ago. A fine place, fine people. Alas, family duties called, as did my current position, serving the Rose Without Thorns. I do still like to keep up with the latest gossip, however. My generous Khan is known to value it as well. Alright, so I guess, like, we're about to head back to the Reach, where terror will not be a serious issue. So I guess we exchange them for money? How much money are we talking about here? The bespectacled officer's smile fades. From the liberation of night, their ships take a special interest in our scouts and their lanterns. We return the favor. Let me show you my Khan's gratitude for your assistance. Okay, so 50 sovereigns per plate. That's not an incredibly great rate. Oh well. Alright, we don't need to hire on crew. What else can we do? Well, first of all, we should repair the locomotive, obviously. And it is so nice that we can get real repairs here. An outrider prepares for launch. Beyond the city, the Eagle's latest ship prepares to head out into the heavens. Around the docks, the crowd does its part by releasing paper lanterns into the night air and cheering the skyfaring heroes. All are welcome to celebrate and toast the Eagle's power. You are made unusually welcome amongst the Empyrean citizens, and encouraged to construct your own traveling lantern. For once they use candles rather than electricity. White, pristine, waxy. You fold the bright paper as instructed and release it into the air to join the rest. Together they rise proudly past the Xanthus moon and disappear into the darkness, carrying the defiance of light against the liberation of night. Alright, let's go visit. Hopefully, what I'm hoping for here is that we can eventually make ourselves welcome enough to maybe meet with some important people, or there's got to be something that they want to do to the crown, and I'm all about doing stuff to the crown here. You are welcomed to the one true civilization in Eleutheria. You are allowed into the Empyrean proper. Okay. I suppose we should probably do this thing, right? Fortunate navigator knows the way to the graveyard. Tourists have no business in graveyards. Gawping at tombs is a peculiarity of the British, viewed with suspicion. Each street is lit by evenly placed electric lights. The light is cold and casts hard shadows. Empyrean citizens hurry by in silks and cloth. There is always somewhere to be in the Empyrean. All who live here work. There is no space for idleness. Okay, so we're going to need to become more trusted before we can do the graveyard thing, I guess? 6th Day Festival is in full swing. Yeah, we may as well join in. I'm all about festivals. Dancers from the palace wander the main streets, performing the histories of the Empyrean. Its opening of the gate to all skies, the raising of the Empyrean, bringing light to darkness, its technologies, the Outriders and the Xanthus moon. Some of the dances are very complicated. The palace provides the roasted street food that waters your mouth. The London embassy begrudgingly foots the bill. The graveyard is at the end. Okay, this is just an encounter on the way to the graveyard. Not many people travel here. The electric lights are fewer, barely keeping away the dark. Some of the stone tombs are as small as a locomotive's brig. Others are large as bank vaults, with walls twice as thick. It's a little worrying. What are they trying to keep in? Electricity is not wasted on the dead. Instead, a caretaker regularly replaces the candles in every nook on every corner of each plinth. The embalmed rest in an unsteady gloom. Brooding stone shadows shift uneasily. So, if we attempt to steal the corpse and fail, the Empyrean will assume we are a London agent stealing the corpse for nefarious reasons, which might be a bad outcome. Or we could simply distract the caretaker with a vision of the heavens, which is a thing that we don't have a lot of trouble getting a hold of, and that we don't have a ton of uses for. I think we could afford to just go the route of a distraction. It's kind of remarkable how hard this check is, because our Veils is very high. Alright, let's distract the caretaker. She works in the flickering dark, away from the Empyrean's electric light. Perhaps she'd appreciate hearing of the incandescently sublime. Yeah, let me tell you about this weird ruin we saw just outside the city. The caretaker sits with you on a low stone slab at the far edge of the graveyard. She listens in silence. A flaring candle catches something glinting on her cheek. When you leave, she remains in quiet contemplation. The navigator is waiting by the graveyard gate. He grins awkwardly. He has used rope to tie the corpse's desiccated wrists to its ankles, and is wearing it like a knapsack. The corpse's head lolls against his shoulder, its embalmed face almost restful. Back at your locomotive, the navigator meets your eye, then bursts into incredulous laughter. You didn't think to, bring a bag or something, man? That's I'm shocked that we did not get caught here. Okay, well now we have a corpse. Alten's body lives with the navigator in his cabin, rather. Okay, well, what's up next, my new friend here? What exactly do you intend to do with this corpse? As you enter the navigator's captain, he preempts anything you might say by shouting, "Bring me a map! Something that says, 'Here be monsters!'" Then a pause. Please, sister. Yeah, alright, we got some charts. I suppose I could spare a few. Don't know how he's going to make this worth our while. Alton's body is propped in the navigator's desk chair, cushioned with his pillow. Embalming has preserved the body. Its limbs are too thin, its skin a greenish-gray, but it looks peaceful. It faces the window, and it is probably for the best, the eyelids are shut. The navigator talks while he works, scrawling circles and routes on your chart. King Gesser was a slayer of demons. We must battle a monster of the skies, something fearsome, maybe a senior scrivener, a scornfluke, or one of the undeparted, something worthy of a song. The map he returns to you is so enthusiastically marked that it is unusable. Okay, we have to kill a monster. These are not really all in the same class. We'll try to find a scornfluke to kill, I think, because I do want to see what happens if we continue commingling with its choirs. We're doing a lot of that lately. You can find scornflukes, senior scriveners, and undeparted in Eleutheria. Really? I don't think we've seen any scornflukes here, have we? Well, maybe we should try to kill something before we leave, then? Because if it thinks that we're supposed to find what we're looking for in Eleutheria, the next step of the quest might also be in Eleutheria? Yeah, maybe. Well, we can feed in some thirsty bombazine here. We could buy ourselves some bronzewood, I suppose. We have all this money, why not? So do we want to fly around a little bit and try to get in a fight? Like, senior scriveners are kind of all over the place, right? I don't really want to have to fight an undeparted, but honestly, we could fight an undeparted. Yeah, we have full hull, and we'll be able to get full hull back. Let's go try to get into some trouble. I'm trying to think, where did we see... I guess we could just fly out into the dark and see if something wants to fight. Unfortunately, that we can't have our scout go out and attempt to locate enemies. Let's explore this little unexplored area down here. If we find an extinguishment or something, we can do battle with that. We just hang out around it until an undeparted appears. Okay, well, unfortunately, the fact that he has found nothing doesn't really tell us anything about our current goal. Alright, we'll sail out into the scary, stormy area. See what comes of that. Traverse the belt of midnight that circles the Empyrean. I would love to not be going directly into the wind. Nope, that's a normal scrivener. Not even really worth my time. I mean, there are senior scriveners everywhere, right? We've seen a lot of those guys. I think that's the normal scrivener who has decided now that he sees us. Alright, fine. I'm sure he's not just going to leave us alone, right? Oops. Just dodged the wrong way. I am a little bit worried about my terror. Yeah, the storm being below me is kind of like... So, here's the part of the episode where I tell you how afraid I am of perfectly mundane things. I gotta think about water if I can't see the bottom of it. I think that's maybe a little bit more reasonable than some of my fears. But this is kind of setting off that in a way that flying through the skies here usually doesn't. I think it's the suggestion that there is something happening down there that we just can't see. Okay, hold on. Something ghastly over here. I bet that something ghastly is an extinguishment, and it seems like the extinguishments have undeparted around them, at least some of the time. Let's see if we can get an undeparted to show up. There are mysteries in the dark. Yep, there's one. Okay. I can kinda sorta see you, kinda. Somehow it's not actually feeling aggressive toward us? Oh, now it is. Okay. All we have to do is survive. Oh. You know, I started moving forward because he was moving, and I thought that would be okay. I forgot that they can, like, leave the thing behind like a mine. Yeah, so it seems like once we've damaged them a little bit, they stop going invisible, maybe? That's not gonna hit. Okay, it tried, though. It was a noble attempt. Oh, okay, his projectiles home in as well. Starting to take an amount of damage that's making me a little bit nervous. But all we have to do is not die. Distant shriek of a scribe spinster. Well, he should wait his turn. We're a little bit busy right now. Okay, I think that we need to maybe develop some kind of actual strategy here. Discontent. Is this the moment? Okay, a star has winked out. Yeah. Dispense an additional ration of brandy. I'm sure that we will continue to fight well while everybody is drunk. Let's just get all the whole crew. Whoa! Holy crap! I guess his planet needed him? Alright. Let's help the Navigator show his friend this defeated monster. The Navigator has put on a sky suit and retied Alton's wrists and ankles. Because of his bulky sky suit, he can't put on the corpse without assistance. I'm sure the crew's gonna love being asked to help with that. The Navigator floats over to the defeated monster and does a triumphant jig on its remains, almost toppling over when he leans to give Alton a better view. For all its grotesqueness, such unbridled delight is contagious. The crew can't resist smiling. When the navigator clambers back inside, he shrugs Alton's body to the floor, then props it against a wall. He unseals his helmet and turns to you. We defeated that! He holds up his hand. Look, I'm shaking! He sighs, suddenly exhausted. Well, alright. A little unpredictable. At least the crew seems to like him. I feel like the crew hates all of the people we bring on board, so this is a nice change of pace. Oh, and then we still get to do a thing. Let us pry out its eyes, I guess? Because we're definitely going to go refill our hull in a moment here. We don't need to reduce our terror, because we're going to do that once we get to the other side of the relay. Yeah, sure. Let's just pry out its eyes. Behind its strands of twig-like hair, its face is studded with gems of many colors. Hammer and chisel in hand, you get to work. The stones come free reluctantly, glittering one by one into the satchel at your waist. The bone beneath the gems is warped, as if it had been broken. Then the gems had been inserted, and the skull left to heal slowly around them. Gross. Well, I feel somewhat confident saying that probably is not what happened, just based on why. Why would anyone do a thing like that? Okay, so what's next? Was that what you were hoping for? Still don't really understand what he was trying to accomplish in the first place. Did you know that King Gessar once wrestled a giant tiger? It seems the battle with the monster is already well out of mind. He's a little bit flighty, this one. Can you imagine that? Man versus tiger. I've never even seen a tiger, not a real one. I'd love to see one. We could show Alton, too. He nods toward the corpse, which is propped upright against the wall. It is wearing a top hat adorned with a particularly garish feather. There are no tigers native to the heavens. If you want to see one, you'll have to find a magician, one skilled with mirrors. Perhaps the magician at Polmir and Plenty's can assist. I've been very slowly, during the off-camera time, working through the Polmir and Plenty quest. So they do like us. If they can help us, they probably will. Alright. Well, we're going to have to go past there anyway. I think with that, we can probably actually leave. I think the dowsers are... All of our enemies have the ability to fly sideways much more effectively than we can, but the dowsers are, like, especially pro at it. The Tackities do it very well as well, but I never feel like they're doing it on purpose, I guess is the difference. I should maybe be a little bit careful, because we are actually kind of low on hull. I'm fighting this guy the way I normally would, but maybe let's try to keep our distance. See if we can lead him enough to get an actual hit. Because he does only have the one weapon. He can't really fight us if we're more than about 5 feet away. Okay, we could salvage the plating, we could plunder the dowser. So we don't want to push our terror too high, right? Because I do have to at least, like, make it back to New Winchester. Oh, you know what, as we go through Polmir and Plenty's, we'll be able to drop a whole bunch of terror, though. I am kind of curious about this. We don't need the plating. Okay, today is a lucky day, we're making good rolls. You can hear dripping water as you explore the lightless engine. A cracked pipe, perhaps. Yes, perhaps. The bridge is a wreckage of glass and bodies. Here, peppered with glass, is the captain's log. Not, as is usually the case, a record of their travels, but a mix of poetry fragments, sketches, meandering theories, and ambitious schemes to overthrow the Empyrean. So, probably partially the issue here is that I'm playing the game in small sessions over such a very long time. Right, if I were just playing this for pleasure, I definitely would have completed the game in less than what has it been, like 2 months, maybe 3 at this point? It's a while, right? But I feel like I'm not remembering very much about... Oh wow, there's combat happening like right inside the Empyrean. I'm not remembering very much about the Liberation of Night. Like, I'm not remembering if we know much about them. But those slow-moving homing missiles are pretty cool. Do we want to help with this? I kind of don't. The reward for fighting these guys is just not... It's not good enough. Okay, wow. I'm pretty sure he's not going to be able to follow us back through here. Alright, we're going to get our repairs, and then we're going to go ahead and just head through the relay. So actually, I suppose this is where I can leave you. Yeah, we don't really have anything else to do here. Yeah, I think this is where we'll call it for today. This is going to be it for us. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time when we probably are just going to pick it up in Albion, you know. We have a queen to go visit. Not that queen, the other one, the good one. So come back next time for that, and we'll see you then.